This is the AEW Dynamite December 4th, 2024 full show results video which takes place at Fisher's Event Center in Fisher, Indiana. The show started with a Continental Classic Blue League match between Kyle Fletcher vs. Shelton Benjamin, and the result of this match was Kyle Fletcher defeated Shelton Benjamin by pinfall with a pinning predicament and a hand on the ropes, earning himself 3 more points for a total of 6. Hook makes his entrance and gets on the mic and he calls Nick Wayne out and says he'd rather fight Christian Cage in New York and leave him in worse condition that he left Taz in, and he'll fight Nick Wayne here and now tonight. The patriarchy tries to jump him but he fends them off and puts Nick Wayne in red rum, but Mother Wayne makes enough distraction for that damn numbers game to overwhelm young Hook. Christian tells Kip Sabian and Nick Wayne out for plunder. He wants to concerto Hook's left hand and he does. Renee Paquette interviews Mercedes Moné backstage and Moné is upset at being asked about Camille and says she's not liable for her nor does she have any concerns with her, and she's more concerned about Anna Jay sticking her nose where it doesn't belong. Back from the commercial, the Hurt Syndicate are backstage and Montavious Porter asks why Shelton Benjamin was messing around and lost instead of hurting Kyle Fletcher like they do. He loves him but he's disappointed, and MVP and Bobby Lashley leave. Benjamin takes his rage out on some random dude who walks past and the other two return to beat the shit out of some more random dudes. Then we saw a Dynamite Dozen Battle Royal, and the result of this match was Adam Cole and Kyle O'Reilly will move on to the Dynamite Diamond Ring #1 Contenders match next week. We get a Julia Hart vignette where she calls Jamie Hayter out and says it's her turn for a big comeback. The Acclaimed are backstage when Renee Paquette rolls up for an interview and Max Caster says everything is great but Daddy Ass says it's not great because they've spent the past hour trying to get Max to take his head out of his ass. Caster's letting MVP get in his head and yes he's the best wrestler alive but they built this together. Anthony Bowens tells him to go prove that he's the best wrestler alive. Max thanks him for the compliment and wants to go hands in but neither Gunn nor Bowens go in and he walks off whooping like Daffy Duck. The next match happened between Max Caster vs. Shane Swerve Strickland, and the result of this match was Shane Swerve Strickland defeated Max Caster by pinfall with house call. Post-match, Strickland lands a swerve stomp on Caster and leans into the camera and tells everyone to not waste his time because the last of 2024 belongs to Swerve and he's not done with Bobby Lashley yet. Back from the commercial we get a recap of the end of the Dynamite Diamond Battle Royal and MJF calls a promo and reminisces about his team with Adam Cole before saying that Cole's actions got Roderick Strong's arm broken. Now he has to beat the shit out of Kyle O'Reilly to get his hands on MJF again and also blames him for Jon Moxley's current reign of terror. He's sick of it, he's sick of Cole pretending to be the hero when he's the jaundice-infected villain. The next match happened between Switchblade Jay White vs. Pac, and the result of this match was Switchblade Jay White defeated Pac by pinfall with Blade Runner. Post-match, Jay White hits a Blade Runner on Yuta for good measure and Marina Shafir arrives to confront him and Jon Moxley attacks from behind, beating Switchblade down, and then delivered a Death Rider. Hangman Adam Page comes out, Moxley and Hangman staring each other, but a cameraman attacks Moxley from behind, choking him with a length of cable. It's Orange Cassidy. Hangman takes the fight to Moxley while Orange Cassidy starts deal with Marina Shafir. Pac and Yuta even the odds and send Page packing but Cassidy hits the ring with orange punches for both of them. Squaring up with Moxley, but Cassidy hits a orange punch to Pac, Yuta, and Moxley, then White hits a Blade Runner to Moxley, and then Hangman hits Buckshot to Moxley. Christian Cage is lurking on the stage with his contract in hand. Jamie Hayter cuts a promo at Julia Hart, saying she came back to right wrongs and settle scores and it has nothing to do with her. She was on the cusp of something great and having that ripped away from you changes you, and she's determined to take this International Women's Cup all the way. She says she'll come find Hart on her comeback and lay her out. Back from the commercial, Chris Jericho calls in a New York Minute promo talking up ROH and AEW shows at Hammerstein Ballroom and other upcoming dates. We get a cowboy-themed vignette about the return of Bandito. The next match happened between Anna Jay vs. Penelope Ford. Shoving, trading forearms to the floor, double knees from Ford and back from commercial, handspring back elbow, licking Jay's face, snapmare, up top, Anna cuts her off. Penelope wants the ace crusher, Queenslayer laid in, Ford gets out, stunner, getting Jay in the ropes, drop kick to the back, cover for a near fall. In the end, Anna gets the gory facebuster, and won the match by pinfall. Post-match, Anna Jay gets on the mic and she calls out Mercedes Moné and demands she come to the ring. Mercedes Moné comes and she says if Chris Statlander, the biggest, strongest woman on the roster, can't beat her for the TBS championship, what makes Anna think she can? Mariah May must have kicked her a little too hard in the head, but she likes her confidence, so if she wants a title shot she needs to come back in 10 years once she's actually done something. Jay asks something like this and slaps the taste out of her mouth. Mercedes starts to strip down like she's gonna fight before checking her watch and realizing she doesn't have time for this. Back from the commercial, Renee Paquette has a sit-down interview with Mariah May. Renee wants to leave, but Mariah says as champion she's infallible, so she should sit down and listen. She's giving Mina Shirakawa a title shot out of pity and she believes in her and they'll have champagne after. Women's wrestling is dead and buried and she's holding the shovel and Shirakawa rolls up and shoves a champagne bottle into her hand and tells her to do it to her face and make her work. In the main event of the show, we saw a Continental Classic Gold League match between Brody King vs Claudio Castagnoli, and the result of this match was Claudio Castagnoli defeated Brody King by pinfall with the neutralizer, earning 3 points for a total of 6. Post-match, AEW confirmed a match between Will Ospreay vs Claudio Castagnoli for next week, and the show goes off the air.